Okay, it's a 1982 GL500 Interstate. I just finished this bike. I picked it up last summer, and I've been slowly working on it, a little piece at a time, and I finally got it finished. I'm getting ready to take it out and put some miles on it. I know the history on this bike. I got it off the second owner. He traveled to North Carolina and bought it off the original owner, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, and it was in immaculate condition when he bought it. And he just didn't ride it very much. It sat. It probably sat for 10 years. The tires were dry rotted, and they still look like they had plenty. They're brand new tires. There's plenty of tread on them. They were dry rotted. You could just tell nobody just rode the bike. So it needed all the usual stuff that I do to all these bikes to make them roadworthy again. We can start at the front. I rebuilt the fork tubes, new fork seals, wipers, fluid. Rebuilt the calipers, new brake pads, new master cylinder, brand new tires front and rear, new AGM battery, new petcock, rebuilt and rejetted the carburetors. As people know, these carburetors were a little bit lean in 1982 because of emissions, so I jetted them up just a hair. Really improves the mid-range, and they still get about 50 miles to the gallon. New spark plugs. I pulled the engine out and I did a complete reseal on it. All the seals have been replaced, along with the mechanical water pump seal, which is a problem with these bikes. New spark plugs, oil filter. All right, I pulled the rear Pro Link was starting to squeak, and they tend to do that when they start getting a little older. I pulled the rear swing arm off. I rebuilt the Pro Link, repacked it with grease. Also repacked the swing arm bearings also. Let me see. Okay, I also replaced the solenoid, which takes care of the main fuse problem they have. So it takes a modern fuse now. It's got a new solenoid with the new AGM battery. You can tell this bike was never out in the weather. You can just look at the buckles are usually the first thing to go on these things. So she's a beautiful looking bike. Along with, I have the original back trunk, the tall trunk that goes on, takes the place of the rear seat. So you can put the tall seat on the back, and then you can have a little bit of backrest for the rider. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start her up here. Okay, it's an 82, so it's a 40-year-old motorcycle, and it's all original. It's the original bodywork. So it's got like a couple of little specks on it, but it's got no real damage on the bike anywhere, so. I recondition these bikes as if I'm going to keep them myself, so I do this for a hobby, and I don't cut any corners. I was even using one of my new old stock choke cables on these, which is getting almost impossible to come by now. So I use the best parts that I can get. I got a lot of this stuff in stock. So I use a lot of new old stock parts when I can. And I think they come out pretty good. Anyway, should be ready in a couple of weeks. I'm going to take it out and ride it. I like to put about, 500-600 miles on, make sure there's no kinks in them before I turn them loose. Anyway, there she is. Thanks for watching my video.